Is it so obvious what's going on, or perhaps I'm just so naive that this is just a billionaire cash grab, concerted, collusive effort to really just take over every aspect of the country and use Donald Trump as their vessel? We learned that Mark Zuckerberg has been hanging out in Mar-A-Lago again, but he's been kissing the ring, bending the knee, colluding, whatever you want to call it, in Mar-a-Lago over the past few days. Stephen Miller confirmed it. I'll show you that video in a little bit. I don't love playing Stephen Miller videos, but let's just talk about the type of stuff that was going on, though, right? Donald Trump would always make these social media posts over the past 4 years, threatening Zuckerberg. He would say things like this. He goes, "If I'm elected president, we will pursue election fraudsters at levels never seen before, and they will be sent to prison for long periods of time. We already know who you are. Don't do it, Zuckerbucks. Be careful." So he was threatening Mark Zuckerberg's life just very casually in posts over the past 4 years, which apparently you're allowed to do in the United States of America. And he was doing that to a lot of other kind of wealthy people. I guess wealthy people were just like, look, let's just use this guy as our vessel. We won't have to pay taxes. We'll screw over the little guy. I mean, let's just convince people to vote against their interests, to destroy their unions. You know, people like Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and other billionaires are like, we don't want people forming unions. We don't like when our workers strike. We don't want to give our workers more pay. So let's just support the complete dismantling of labor. Let's just destroy labor forces, convince labor to vote for us. We'll use all these culture war issues, LGBTQ hate. We'll talk about penises and vaginas and bathrooms and attack trans people and spend all the time. She's with they, them, not with you, and focus on all this ridiculous stuff instead of actually focusing on the fact that President Biden's administration has led to growing wages, a bottom-up, middle-out economy where Americans, by and large, are kind of able to have a more level playing field than ever before. So we go to, oh, by the way, did you hear this one too? As we're learning about Zuckerberg hanging out at Mar-a-Lago, which didn't come as a great shock, we also learned that Donald Trump picked John Felon, or Felon, or Felon, I like Felon, Felon, a businessman with no military experience to be the Secretary of the Navy. The highest naval position goes to John Felon. Felon, who told NBC News he was greatly honored, would be the first person in 15 years to lead the Navy without having served in the military. Join the Navy, get a felon. Guess how much it cost? 1.3. I mean, he paid $1.3 million in donations to the RNC and to Trump's various political action committees, and you too can run the Navy for the price of $1.3 million, like John Felon. Jeez. Let's talk about what these billionaires are saying as well. You've got Elon Musk saying, look, we all need to suffer economic hardship, temporary economic hardship. You got to feel pain, and then things will be good, but we're going to make you feel some pain out there. American workers, American people, you're going to feel the pain. I'll be worth $300 billion, but screw you. You're going to feel some pain. That's actually what he said. And as Evan Sutton says, temporary hardship means you losing your job, your homes, your retirement account, your Social Security, your Medicare. That's what they're talking. What do you think the Doge is doing when they're saying we're going to cut trillions of dollars from Americans, from our budget? Yeah, most of the budget spent on national defense and Social Security and healthcare costs. So you're going to cut Social Security and healthcare costs, methinks. It goes, and then Sutton goes, yet political reporters seem to think the biggest story is Joe Biden being over 80 and mumbling occasionally and stuttering. That was their big story. Not the fact that these billionaires said that they wanted to inflict economic hardship on we, the people. Also, Donald Trump named Jamieson Greer as his U.S. trade representative, and he named Greer's prior boss as the trade czar. And just take a look at what Greer has said recently about U.S.-China economic relations, what he says that needs to happen. He calls it a decoupling from China. He goes, there's no silver bullet in some cases. The effort to pursue strategic decoupling from China will cause some short-term pain. It's that language again. Short-term pain, temporary hardship. They're going to throw us into horrible situations where we'll feel pain. They won't feel pain. They're super rich. You'll feel pain. We'll feel pain. But look, we were calling this out during the campaign. Remember when all of these billionaires just kind of flipped? They flipped and they were like, oh, the Democratic Party just doesn't represent us anymore. No, I think they all got together, quite literally compiled a list of each other, went in that back room, they're talking about the back room, cigar smoking. I think that literally went down. And they were just like, hey, let's collude. Let's figure out how do we rig this system? We all got billions of dollars. We can control the media. We can control the narratives. We can push this culture war stuff, distract Americans, get them to vote for culture wars over their own interest. I mean, look, when I say there's quite literally a list, billionaire David Sachs has a list of billionaires. And he's telling people, come on in, the water's warm. We've got the Winklevoss brothers. We've got Peter Thiel. We've got Mark Andreessen. We've got Elon Musk. We've got Bill Ackman. We've got Ben Horowitz. Take a look at all these billionaires. Here's our list. And now you have Elon Musk leading a fake government agency called Doge. Just look at this photo, the disruptor in chief. I mean, that's what we want, a billionaire inflicting hardship on us. Look, the Republican House and Senate members do. Save the date. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're coming to Capitol Hill. Ramaswamy worth basically $1 billion. Musk, the richest man in the world. There they come. There they come. Here, by the way, is Stephen Miller. I want to talk a little bit more after I show you this clip, but you have to hear what they're saying. And here, Stephen Miller confirms Mark Zuckerberg kissing the ring. Play this clip.
Stephen, real quick, Politico is reporting that Mark Zuckerberg was at Mar-A-Lago today meeting with President Trump. Can you confirm that?
Yes, that's correct. And Mark Zuckerberg has been very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a participant in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change, an agent of prosperity.
Right.
And so business leaders, CEOs, everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. So we'll see what comes of that. Yeah. And Mark, obviously, he has his own interests, and he has his own company, and he has his own agenda, but he's made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Good. It's good for the president. He turned the page with some talk show hosts on another channel, and he might be maybe getting over the fact that Zuckerbucks really impacted the 2020 election in the battleground areas. So,
and just so you see all the emails that Donald Trump was sending out to, remember this? Kamala ordered her Silicon Valley henchmen to censor free speech and rig the election. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg admitted collusion. Quite literally colluding right now in Mar-a-Lago before our eyes. Not some made-up stuff with Kamala Harris. Actual collusion taking place before our eyes. Anyway, take a look right here, though. This is from the Biden administration. As Tallman Joseph Smith says, you see that gray line right there? It's about to be more like 2.2%. Average wage gains are up at 4% now, which means real inflation-adjusted wage gains are officially about to be higher than they were for much of 2019, the period so many Americans have expressed nostalgia for this cycle. And if you take a look right here at just some of the accomplishment, most American jobs created ever, most new factory jobs created ever, record high stock market under Biden, wages growing faster than inflation, capped insulin prices at $35 for seniors, new veterans health law, new infrastructure law, inflation down now, it's like at 2.2%, violent crimes down, gas was under $3, And as our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski writes, Joe Biden has created more jobs than any other president, even excluding the jobs that came back from the pandemic. And wages are way up and growth is heavily weighed towards lower and middle income earners right there. And you see right there. Let me just show you. Here's what Biden said when he was watching Fox News. This was from the Biden when he was still in the race. Let's play it.
Look, I was watching on television last night about 2 in the morning after we got back to the house. The White House. Still hard to think of it as home. I had the TV on, and there was a Fox News commentator saying, you know, Biden is changing from trickle-down economics to build from the middle out and the bottom up. It's going to ruin America. Ruin America. We have the strongest economy in the world right now.
And here Biden is again, talking about how Trump and MAGA Republicans want billionaires to pay less for taxes. He's letting you know what their game plan is. Here, play this clip.
Well, Trump recently said Social Security and Medicare, quote, here's his quote, there's a lot you can do in terms of cutting, end of quote. Well, right on cue, the MAGA Republicans in Congress released their budget, which hasn't gotten nearly enough attention. The budget they proposed for next year would raise the retirement age in Social Security and would slash Medicare. Think about that for a second. MAGA Republicans want billionaires to pay less in taxes, want seniors to work longer before they can retire on Social Security benefits, and they want to cut Medicare. I got a better idea. Let's protect Social Security and Medicare and make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
So, folks, I mean, we have to reflect on what's happening. We have to understand that this is a play by the billionaires to screw us, to screw you. That's what's going on. There's an American oligarchy intended to screw us. They're going to screw you. And you'll either be okay with that or you're not. I'm not okay with that. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together, and thank you for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.